Hello, everybody. Back again. We have just a short discussion based on people living with albinism. Yeah, this trend has been going on for so long in several African countries, where people believe that by utilizing the body parts of somebody living with albinism could bring them fortune or becoming wealthy, etc. So that is very unfortunate, and no human being should believe in such, where you want to kill another person in order for you to enrich yourself, become wealthy, utilize their body parts to do business, etc. You're not supposed to do that, definitely. But if we could check it up here, if we could check it up on Google, and this is on Wikipedia, so it says persecution of people with albinism. So persecution of people with albinism, sometimes abbreviated as PWA, is based on the belief that certain body parts of albinistic people hold supernatural powers. So this is some of the views of other people, unfortunately. They assume that if they're going to use the body parts of somebody living with albinism, an albino or albino, then they might have a fortune of accumulating wealth if they utilize those in business, allegedly. That's very unfortunate. So basically, this discussion came about in that Z podcast, which I'm one of the followers as well. I follow that Z podcast. I love it. It's a good podcast. So they brought up this kind of a discussion, and then I just wanted to point out something, that there was a documentary that was on ETV of the Republic of South Africa by Deborah Putt. So if you could go into the archives of that documentary, you will find that Deborah Putt, which is was one of the journalists of ETV, she had traveled to Tanzania to investigate this matter. Why people do that? Because it was very common in Tanzania. That's where the trend was coming from in those years, and then afterwards it kept on coming down. Came to Zambia, Malawi, Zimbabwe, you name it. All the Southern African countries are involved in this at the moment, looking for bones or body parts of people living with albinism. And if I remember carefully, when I was young, we were told that the a person who lives a person living with albinism does not pass on. In other words, they don't die. That the people that are living with albinism, they just disappear. This is what I heard when I was young, and I was like, what kind of a thing is that? So it was surprising, but as I kept on growing and living life and listening to many stories and many mythologies, then we ended up on this. So we are where we are now, where people are being arrested and people are digging up other people's dead bodies in order for them to have an access to the body parts, fingers, toes, etc., of people living with albinism, unfortunately, alleging that if they utilize that, then that could bring them a fortune of becoming wealthy. Just up your game. So you just have to up your game. I mean, put in the work. You don't have to do all those funny rituals in order for you to gain the benefits that you assume you're going to get. Even by asking lots of people that are practicing traditional healers, etc., and sangomas and inganga, or inyanga, etc., they will tell you respectfully, if you have the science of utilizing the herbs and you know how to practice this kind of medicines, obviously you don't have to deprive a person from living a life. And definitely those good ones, they don't do that, but only the bad ones do it. Allegedly, the bad ones do it, allegedly. So we just presume that people must learn to live a life, and it's just some sort of deficiency, because deriving this whole story to Deborah Pat in the documentary, when she went to Tanzania, she discovered and met one of the traditional healers, and then there was an experiment that was made of some sort. And that experiment was, there was a black and white TV, those television sets, the old ones, the smaller ones. I think it was about between 8 to 12 inches. I can't remember exactly how it was, but those small television sets, and it had an antenna on it. So the traditional healer afterwards claimed that these bones are from a person that was living with albinism, was from an albino. And then these other bones are from a normal person who never had albinism. And then afterwards, when the traditional healer picked his bones and hoovered the bones around the antenna, nothing happened. The TV was still playing, and they could still watch the movements and the images on the TV. But when the bones of the albino was picked, and then he did exactly what he did with the other bones by hovering around the TV and rounding around the antenna, nothing. Actually, what happened was the channels got lost. So the channels got lost. The TV turned like everything disappeared. That's basically what happened. So the traditional healer said that this is the effect that the bones of a person living with albinism has. Nevertheless, this doesn't give you a license and doesn't permit you to do evil act where you go hunt for body parts and for people living with albinism. That's something very bad. So I decided to do this just to enlighten people that they mustn't do this. And secondly, they could go deeper by going into the archives of the special assignment documentary that was done by Deborah Part. Then you're going to find this documentary where she went all the way to Tanzania to research about this. She met the traditional healers and they made this kind of an experiment. So I just wanted to mention that. Otherwise, thank you for watching for you guys that speak English. And getting back to our people that speak Bemba or other languages, but I'm going to go to Bemba this time around. Ifyaku okwebata abantu nga babonfya amafupa yabamwabi oba abantu abakwata albinism bali obeta ki bamwabi oba albino okwebati yala baletera efyuma mufire mwaisho okwebati tamufire mwapange fya musango yoyo takuli omuntu akwata ensambu yakweyepa yomunangwe okweyashikula amafupa ya munangwe because ali ni mwabi for the sake of ukwata ekyo kyatekera okwati bala akwata efyuma. That's really, really good. That's very, very bad, unfortunately. Okay, that's very bad. So you don't have to do that. Sorry, I made a mistake. You don't have to do that. If you're tafyasomeshwa iyo, because mwana akakwa ngate ukakwafya iyo tetutemwe nga takweba tuli omuntu ali mwana obe ero abantu baisa nkumulipaya because ni albino. That won't be nice kumuntu oli onse. So that's the reason why I decided to throw this video. Okwebati tubachenjesha abantu then again tubebe okwebati mwina kitefika ishayo musango chibi. And besides that, uli onso omuntu ali kwata omupashi. So okusenda omupashi wa muntu just because you ulefa kunonga ngalefa kunonga kabya obombeshe, just go elsewhere and work extremely hard and put in your effort and your work. Then definitely if you're in that bino kumakaya kwa lesa. Unlike if you're abantu bambi presumably ukwebati ero mwala nonga if you're yo. So there you have it. Thank you and see you in the next one. Bye.